There we go. Hello, everyone. To people just joining, to people who have been waiting, and to everyone watching things back on the VOD, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube, depending on when you're watching this. Hello, welcome to another stream, and welcome to an art stream. Something that I haven't done for, well, I can't remember how long it's been. All I remember is that it's been, at the very least, months at this point since the last time I did one of these. And, I think actually it may have been like either during December or just before December, maybe, now that I think about it. Which, if that's the case, good lord, that's crazy. Not a good thing. I haven't done anything art related, like in general, even off stream for a long time, and that kind of sucks. So I'm just gonna clear out some of my tabs on Opera. And I need to find, let me think. In terms of music, that is that, that is that, that is that, that is that. There's Nintendo Elevate. I'm sorry. I'll get to actually doing the art stuff in a moment. I just want to try and think about the vibes for today's stream. So let me think. Screw it. A long day. Or an extra long day or an extra long night. Yeah. I'll do an extra long night in Xenoblade. It's been ages. It's been ages since we've had Xenoblade music on the stream. There we go. Right. Anyway, so as I've said, aside from like doing like little like enemy concept art sketches for game dev streams and whatnot, I haven't properly done anything art related in ages. I haven't, practiced bits of anatomy. I haven't practiced different poses or anything like that. I haven't done like the 10-second, like 1 minute, or 10-second, 30-second, or whatnot, like art practice stuff in ages. I haven't done absolutely anything in ages, and it's sad because, I used to try and do what I can, find time when I could, and then just draw away, sketch along like a little guy, and then just, have done with it. But because I haven't really felt like I've had enough of an opportunity to do so in my spare time, when clearly I have on occasion, I just haven't. And the last time I was properly working on something like decently big, like art-wise, was, if I can find it. Oh yeah, no, I found it. It was a reference sheet for one of my it was a reference sheet for my first OC, and I never completely finished. Hi Dev. I hope Comic-Con was okay the past weekend, and still a little sad that I couldn't be there. To be fair, I may as well show off like the ref sheet that I was trying to work on way back when, because maybe I'll redo it eventually, who knows. But in terms of what I was working on for that, like this is about as far as I got. You want to nap for that's understandable, but this is about as far as I got with this, and I'm sad that I just completely forgot and just didn't do anything else, because I was happy with how I was doing with this way back when, but I met the Stupendium, so it was good. Oh, well, I was happy with how this was shaping up. then I stopped doing art stuff over Christmas, and then I stopped doing art stuff for months. So I don't know if I could easily go back to this and finish this in the end, which is sad. But that's in the past. We're moving forward with stuff. I'm gonna try and do what I can today, and they'll most likely probably be doing practice bits. If I go back far enough, then I'll probably try and find some of the things that I was using for practice in terms of like references and whatnot for anatomy and hands and everything. And I say I go back far enough, there are so many little reference things they're still on here from ages ago. Like, there's so much. Like, this was me kind of like at that point when I was doing like practice bits. I just kept tacking on like references, and you know, didn't clear out old ones when I moved on from one thing to practice to a new thing to practice. So I just kind of piled them all up. All of the if we go past Shulk and we go far enough forward, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm trying to pin down the point in time. There's so many post stuff, and then there was like me getting animal references for like concept art stuff for the game. But I think I'll clear out all of my old references so I can start off with like a fresh, clean state. What is wrong with me? So this is just going to take a few moments. There we go. Nice and fresh. A complete clean slate for references, though that in terms of my actual like reference pictures folder, they're still organized by when I got them, I think. Where is that's documents? Where is pictures? Reference pic? Yeah. Oh wait, reference poses. There we go. Now, at the moment, in terms of the view, it's details and it's not like extra large icons, large icons. There we go. Much better, much better, much better. Let me think. Can I still organize them by date? Group by date. Okay, I can still group by date. That's good. Okay, cool. Cool. Like, you can tell that this is the point of, wow, I am really trying to pick up from, like, absolute, like, scratch and basics again, because I'm trying to figure out how I organized things in terms of my, like, reference pictures and poses. No! And now I'm trying to figure out where I go first, and what I do first. I don't know why I have a WebM file in this folder, which is just a thing from... When was this? When was this? Oh, last year. Last April. Oh yeah, so it was when me and the others first played Content Warning. That 100% makes sense. And there was when I was practicing, like, hands and stuff, and then I would practice legs again. And then there was drawing heads at different angles. And I do want to get back into, like, doing the silly, like, D&D session prompts again as well. Because I do want to make good on... I do want to make good on drawing Rick as Steamboat Willie. I do want to make good on that, little promise. That is in my list of ideas, but in order to get myself in the headspace for that, I need to get myself generally in the headspace of, yeah, I'm feeling confident enough in my art again to be able to do this. So I'm just trying to find where the bloody hell. Now I'm wishing that instead of just, you know, having a folder called reference poses and just throwing all of my reference pictures in there, that I actually categorize this folder by hands, arms, legs, torso, heads, and all that jazz. And then it would have it would make so much more sense to my little brain. As you can tell, like, some of my needs for specifics have progressively gotten worse over time. Like, maybe people in chat or people watching things back can understand this when I describe it, but it's so... Oh god, I kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday, during game dev stream when I was, like, plotting out stuff for, like, the hub worlds and the story beats and everything, when I just kind of made mention of the fact that in my brain things have to kind of link and make sense, otherwise it doesn't feel right. And with the whole, like organizing things, at first it was like, I just kind of have the folder for the reference poses and then I throw them in. And now it's just a case of, wow, I now need things to be so much more specific. So I found that, like, that section in the folder where I was practicing hands and poses with hands and whatnot. So I'm gonna drag them all in. I'm pretty sure there was one from Heater I had. I don't remember where I put that one, and that's kind of frustrating. So, uh-oh. That's not good. Let me see. I cannot find the example that Heater gave me way back when for one of the hand poses, but you know what? That's completely fine. That's completely fine. Now, in terms of pencil, like, brushes themselves in Clip Studio, like, I like the one that I normally use, and I do like Real Pencil as well, because that's very, like, sketchy and stuff, and I like how, you know, sketchy and, like, how visually similar things could look to, you know, what you would expect from an actual pencil. But I do wish I could find a nice looking pencil brush. I'll probably do that in, like, the actual, like, Clip Studio hub like, window in the background as I'm doing this. So if all of a sudden partway through, like, stream I decide to start changing up how the brush looks, then that's probably the reason why I'll probably have found something that's decent to use as a, like, a different, like visually. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I was waiting for it. It's like only the piano version of Sylvalim's like nighttime theme from Xenoblade X. I still need to fully finish Xenoblade X. I got a fair distance into the game, and things have been keeping me very busy lately. So I need to, you know, find the time and lock in and finish the game so I can give like proper thoughts on it. But all in all, from what I had been playing up until this point so far, I've been enjoying it a lot. Like, it's less story-driven compared to the numbered titles in the Xenoblade series, but like, a lot of it is driven by what you do outside of whatever story beats exist within that game, compared to the numbered titles. Right. And I'm focusing on this one here first, because it's a nice, like, standard-looking one to start off with, so... Though, now I'm thinking about it, I feel like... Because... Like, what it used to be, like, in terms of what I would do on a given day during the week, outside of, like, Thursday itself, which, in terms of, like, me doing stuff during the day, I usually allocate Thursday as more so a day where I take a break and just try and relax and get on with stuff that I didn't, like, do too much of during the week, like, trying to, like, play a game or finish a game or, getting myself hooked on a game that I've been getting too hooked on lately, Wizard 101. At the very least, like, for the days where I'm actually, like, trying to do something productive, I used to have just one day, like, where I would delegate, like, a day to just practicing art and whatnot, and I would do that for a good few hours at the very least. Sure, I would, like, take breaks for, like, lunch and, like, a walk if I needed to get out of the house and clear my head and all that jazz, but I haven't properly delegated a day for that for so long, and it's kind of sad. But I think going forward I want to try and, like, do that again, because it's a nice way to, like, it's being productive in a way, but it's not, you know, pushing myself to do too much, if that makes sense. Like, at the very least, I'm doing something and not, you know, just sitting around on my butt on a given day doing absolutely nothing, but at the same time, I'm still taking it easy and having, like, a healthy outlet for things, especially for when, like, things in life tend to stress one out and all that jazz, and so on and so forth, and whatnot. Because at the very least, for, like, for a good chunk of my life in general, art has always kind of been... It's always been a nice way to kind of slow down. Like, yeah, sure, I can just chill, have fun playing video games and whatnot, but art is just... There's a different feeling you get with just taking the time out to draw and create a thing, or putting some of your emotion into drawing and creating a thing, and seeing just kind of what shape it takes. I guess if we're going that far. Also, one thing that I found lately, which honestly, it's like I find my very first like notebook that I used at university every now and then I find it again. I have misplaced it again. Hold on, chat. Where did I put this? I swear I literally had this like yesterday or the day before, and it's vanished again. Oh wait, no, it's not there. Ah, for crying out loud! This isn't it. Oh wait, no, there it is. I am a bit silly when it comes to placing things in my room. Right. Okay, so, like, the thing that always astonishes me is that one, there's like some like art doodly snippets that I did back during my first year of university that's like, wow, I can't believe my art used to look like that. Not that it looked horrible, it's just, it's definitely changed since I started university. There's one thing that was also like in my first year that was like kind of in the latter half of it. That was still decent, but it was still... It definitely looked like there was something that could be improved on. And I feel like it was definitely something that I was trying to work on during lockdown and everything like that. But the thing that I also find that is still nestled at the front of this book is the character sheet for my very first D&D character. And... And, like, on the back of, like, the part of the character sheet where it has, like, all my spell slots and my spells and cantrips and whatnot, along with, like, all of that stuff. On the back of it is the actual, like, drawing that I sketched of my first D&D character at the time. Eventually, I would redraw it, like, at a later point in time, and I would do a way better job of it, but... At the time, I was pretty pleased with this drawing. There's also some notes of stuff that happened to it during, like, the campaign I was in with my friends at the time, where, like, I think it was a homebrewed campaign, I can't remember, but, like, the thing that had happened is that there was a wand that my character had picked up. He was a wizard. He was a school of necromancy wizard. There was a wand he picked up, and that wand cursed him with vampirism. And because of that, there's, like, notes underneath the drawing of the character that says, I had to have him drink blood once a day, or he would suffer +1 point of exhaustion. If he walks into sunlight, I'd have to roll a con save. I'd only take damage if I succeeded, but I would die if I failed a con save. And it would also say +2 to strength, which... Yeah, okay, that was... I guess those were the stipulations of my character becoming a vampire in that campaign, which is kind of crazy. But having that character sheet with that sketch is particularly crazy. I think the... No, this is just a blank sheet of paper. Why is there a blank sheet? I don't know what compels me to do something sometimes, but... One of the, like, for some reason, like, I just have a completely blank sheet of paper stuffed into the front of, like, into the front of this notebook. But yeah, no, I was mostly kind of wanting to point that out, because it's just, wow. How I went from, making a character in D&D that was kind of comically, like, depraved and kind of evil in a way, to making a character that is evil but with layers, in a way. and I somehow accidentally, I say accidentally, I kind of like did it as like a minor pitch, and then as like the Avernus campaign progressed, like it kind of grew. And I like playing that character. I like playing that character a lot. Has to be one of my favorite characters that I've played in D&D. Right. Okay, so one hand down. So in terms of the shape, like sure, like here it'd be kind of like have this here and there, and it kind of goes down like that for the front of the, like the front facing side for the fingers and whatnot. And then there. And then there. And then do this, do hickamajig. Also, like one of the previous times when I was like doing, I think it was actually the last time I did an art stream where I had planned out what I wanted to do for the PNG and like adding more like states where it gets a bit more emotive and whatnot, and being able to sort of switch between them when I need to, because as I had previously pointed out way back when, although like you can hear like emotion in my voice and tell that, or tell when I'm like frustrated or sad or like excited and whatnot, it's kind of just, you know, a little flat. And I feel like it wouldn't just help with like conveying certain emotions like through reactions on stream, but also having a good like little reaction, like a little good reactionary kind of thing for videos as well when I get around to making them, which is cool. So but yeah, no, oh, that might be a bit too much. See, now I'm thinking about the fact that I've gone, like, this is going to be, like, the umpteenth stream that I've mentioned getting back into playing Wizard 101 and how much I've been playing it recently. But doing that has kind of reminded me of, like, when I was younger, being attached to certain, like, MMOs and, you know, like playing them a lot when I was a kid. Like, especially in the case of the original Toontown Online, where I played it basically when I was very young, when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And then took a break for like a good few years until like part the way through 2013, when like when we found out a way to properly like actually, because I didn't know I didn't know the existence of PayPal at the time. So how we got like membership, because originally there was like more than just the American servers for the original Toontown Online. There was like UK servers, but then at a certain point they kind of rolled all the servers into just the one on the American servers. And then I thought for the longest time, oh, now that they've done this, we can't get membership anymore, so we may as well just stop. And then years later, we found me and my brother found a kind of roundabout way to be able to like buy membership if you for the game if you exist, like, in anywhere outside of America, which I feel like if we knew about PayPal, then we really wouldn't have needed to do that, but we didn't, so, we did that. But it was like, hey, we're able to get membership and play the game again and have fun with it and all that. And then a few months later, Disney was like, oh, hey, we're closing down Toontown Online. We're closing down Toontown Online and Pirates of the Caribbean Online because there used to be an MMO for Pirates of the Caribbean as well. I think there was also one for like the the Pixie universe they had established with the Tinkerbell movies. I'm not 100% sure, but there was those three games that were shut down on the same day back in 2013, and I remember at the time when I first heard the announcement, like, what? Why? Because I was a little, like, I was like a kid who loved and was attached to that game, and just realized that I'm sad because, like, this game that I love dearly is just going away, and, you know, like, it's just not going to exist anymore. And then, like, there were a lot of people who were trying to, like, prevent it from happening, but it still happened. It didn't matter if people made petitions and whatnot, because, you know, Disney and money at the end of the day, so... But of course, like, if you're aware of stuff, then you know that people in the Toontown community made Toontown Rewritten, like, a fan server that, you know, is still going fairly strong to this day. They're still making some updates and whatnot. And then there's also, like, other servers that do things completely differently. Because if I had to describe things between, like, the two main servers, Rewritten and Corporate Clash, Rewritten is, like, almost entirely like the original experience with additions made to try and expand on things that felt like, you know, weren't fleshed out so much with the original game. And then Corporate Clash is essentially entirely different in terms of structure and some systems and all that jazz. And it's interesting to see the differences between the two, but I digress. That was coming off of a tangent of me talking about the original Toontown and how attached I was to that game and how upset I was when it shut down. Yeah, no. Also, at the time, because they said, as they made the announcement, they said, oh, we're going to close this game down and focus more on titles like Club Penguin. Kid me was like, oh, this is all Club Penguin's fault, and he who used to be like a fan of playing Club Penguin as well, just essentially said, I hate Club Penguin, I hate everything it stands for, just because of them saying, oh, we're going to focus on Club Penguin more. Which, you know, that's kind of funny considering the fact that game closed down too for essentially a new iteration called Club Penguin Island, which, you know, also didn't last too long. It's just kind of funny. Like, that just kind of existed. It came around and then it just disappeared. And I still find it crazy how that just kind of happened. Like, imagine saying, oh, we're going to focus on this game more, and then over time you see that, you know, the landscape of games changes all the time. I'm pretty sure, like, everyone who either shows up in chat or watches things back on the VOD is astutely aware of this. Like, the landscape of gaming changes all the time, either day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, and all that jazz. And because things weren't looking so good for Club Penguin at a given point, they decided, oh, you know what, we're gonna make one of those newfangled 3D games with, you know, with this kind of system and this kind of thing for microtransactions and all that stuff, and we're gonna make it like more so a kind of like you've got like little stories you've got to follow for given activities and stuff, yeah, and you got to have membership to be able to do these, yeah. And it's like, why? And they did that, and it existed for like a bit of time, and then all of a sudden, I guess because people didn't really like this idea that Disney had for Club Penguin, they just decided, people lost interest in everything, we're going to close it down. Yeah. And then just like that, there's absolutely nothing remotely related to Club Penguin that exists officially anymore, at the very least, as far as I'm aware. And then of course people made like fan servers. There was a first one which, you know, also kind of bore like the rewritten mantle, which, you know, simply called Club Penguin Rewritten. But what happened with that game, or with that fan server, because that eventually got the axe, because Disney caught on. But the reason why that happened, and why nothing has happened to Toontown Rewritten after all these years, is because the people who were running Club Penguin Rewritten were running, like, monetized ads on the website. Which, you know, like, sure, like, Disney doesn't have anything, like, open regarding this IP at the moment, or anymore, but I suppose they still own the IP, so because of that, they saw, oh, they're making money off of this thing that belongs to us, even though we're not using it anymore. Shut them down, men, and that happened. And then there's like another server that I don't know if it still exists. It existed, as far as I was aware, a long while ago. Oh wait, no, it actually does, because I'm in that Discord server and it still gets like notifications every now and again. But yeah, no, it still exists. But it's interesting to see that stuff. Right, so we got 3 hands drawn. Oh, gosh. Oh. So next page of hands. These ones are kind of blurry. This one seems to be fine. This is just like a splayed hand. So, not too bad. Also, I don't know if it's like it's probably like a near universal experience, and this is like an odd thing to kind of talk about. I guess, but like it's where it's the somewhat universal experience of being in your like almost mid-20s, where you just have terrible back pain. And like sometimes like it kind of like it comes and goes sometimes, it sometimes like disappears, but for like more than one reason it just kind of like comes back and it's like, ugh, I don't want my back to hurt when I'm trying to just sit here normally, or I don't want my back to hurt when I'm just trying to get on with stuff at work, or when I'm just out and about on a walk and just like the curse of feeling like you're an old age pensioner at the ripe old age of 24. And it's kind of scary to think about that and basically on the cusp of being mid-20s. Not a nice feeling. Hold on, that doesn't seem right with how I've drawn that. So if you look at the middle finger, like, it would make more sense if it was drawn like this, and then this like little midpoint could be where like the middle of that finger is just, you know, it exists. But ouch. Right. That one goes there. Well, to be fair, because of how it's like, it should be more like that instead. So draw that there. Do that little circle there. I've already got the one here, but I may as well just like do that anyway, just so it's kind of laid out. And then do that one there. And then that just kind of exists there by proxy. So yes. Also, if anyone has like coming in or like who's lurking or anything like that has any like suggestions they want to kind of just throw, if I can work myself up to the point where it's like, yeah, I feel like doing a thing for you now, then don't hesitate when I mention it. Don't do it now, obviously, because it's just the whole warm-up stuff that I'm doing at the moment, but if I do happen to mention it, then don't hesitate, because I could use the practice again. Like, there's a whole bunch that needs practicing again, especially when it concerns like trying to do stuff for people's birthdays if I decide to do so again this year. Because specifically for Dragon's birthday last year, I learned how to draw women, so I could draw her like her OC. And although it wasn't like, you know, expertly drawn or like spectacularly made, I still did a good job with it, and I'm still proud of how I did with it. And she did like that a fair bit. And if I feel like trying to do something like that again, then I want to try and do better than I did last year, if that's even possible. I mean, it probably is possible, it's just me over-exaggerating, just for the sake of, I don't know, I guess it's just for the sake of putting myself down in terms of, getting back into art. And that doesn't help. But yeah, no, I don't know why no, wait, I say that, but I know why I do that. I know why I do that. It's not a good thing. But I can't believe we're almost at the end. We're basically at the end of May now. I can't believe it. It doesn't feel like May has been a full month, if that makes sense. It feels like it's just kind of like gone by, just sort of appeared, then deflated and vanished again. That's how it feels. That's how May has felt this year. It's like, so hold on. I need to fact check a thing, because I was checking, because You know when you've had, like, an email that's existed for long enough, but you still keep it around to use as, like, a thing for things you don't care about? Oh. Okay, so, oh, okay, so this thing that I saw is real. Okay, so... Also, I realize I made the thumb too long. That doesn't look right. Um... So if like you're probably aware of this, because it's been years. It's been years since it happened. But like if you've been on the internet long enough, you're probably aware of the likes of Hello Neighbor and, you know, how promising that game was early on in its development during its alpha builds, and then over time it became significantly more bloated, and it's a game that you can essentially complete by not properly engaging with, like, the mechanics and, like, layout of like the levels of the environment, considering the fact that the game fundamentally is broken at its core. Then it got a spin-off. Then it got a sequel, and apparently it is now getting another sequel, which... Why? Who asked for this? I don't think anyone really asked for this. Like, if you are one of the people that was, like, clamoring and begging for a third Hello Neighbor game, then good for you, I guess, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think most people were looking for a third Hello Neighbor game. I feel like most people were thinking, is it finally over? Like, I just don't understand. Like, why would it need to have a third game? What story could you possibly tell with a third game? How could you try and confuse and mislead people in a third unique way compared to what you did with the first and second games as you were developing them? How can you lie to people again? What lies will you tell people this time about your AI for the neighbor, or for anything else that happens in the game? Like, how would you be able to do things that way? It just feels stupid and pointless. Like, why make a third game in a series that just was had generally unfavorable reviews and opinions at the time? How has it survived this long? Who buys these games? Like, I don't understand. It just confuses, it dumbfounds me. It genuinely dumbfounds me. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding, like, a little bit pessimistic, but it just doesn't make sense. It really just doesn't make sense, in my opinion. It just doesn't. It doesn't. But yeah, like, yeah, but the reason why is because I saw, like, an email about it in my junk folder for this one email address that I've had for years upon years, and just, like, I saw it. I did a double take. I was like, wait, what? Why? Like, this can't be real, can it? And then I just fact check on, like, the internet, and I look at things, and it's like, oh, this is real. This is an upcoming sequel. Hence my little rant. But yeah, like, it makes me think of, like, other, like, games and, like, media in general, where it's like, so many people really don't like this. Why do you make more of it? Like, or why do you make spin-offs of it? Or why do you try and do literally everything? Because, like, if you've been on the internet long enough, then you're probably very well aware of of how things with the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the MCU have changed. And like generally speaking, like 6-7 years ago, like it was in a very good place. People like we're talking like very positively about Avengers Infinity War and Endgame and some of the other supplementary stuff as well. And you know, like and it feels like, oh hey, over time things have progressively dropped in quality, and it feels like you're just kind of shitting things out for the sake of shitting things out. So you can say, oh yeah, we've got all these stories planned for so many years, so you and your family and their descendants can keep engaging with our slop, and it just doesn't feel like you're like making things for people who like superhero media or comics or anything to enjoy. It just feels like you're trying to keep people within your little ecosystem. Like, and it's looking at that kind of stuff, and it's like, so you're seeing people generally like provide unfavorable feedback on like the series that you've released or the movies you're working on, and you're just kind of not really taking too much of it into consideration. And I know that it supposedly is different with Thunderbolts, because apparently a lot of people say that that's the best MCU thing that's kind of come out of it in like a good few years since like the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Even though there was like a lot of shit between that and Thunderbolts and all that, and then even then there was a lot of shit from like between that and Spider-Man No Way Home, because that movie was great as well. And then and then there's just like series that people don't like, or series that just keep continuing despite the fact that they lost the spark that made them, you know, what they were. Oh, sorry, pardon me. They lost the spark that made them what they were a long time ago, but the creators just keep going because they think, people, there's still people who, you know, can't really think critically for themselves, who will still eat this stuff up because, hey, they've always enjoyed it and they don't know any better. Or there's people who have to continue like doing things in a certain way because like the people they work for or a network essentially expects them to be able to, you know, carry on even when they feel like creatively spent towards a given like project or form of media, and it's kind of sad. Anyway, I know ad break starts in like roughly like 2 or so minutes, but I'm going to take the break early because I need to go sort some stuff out and like get another drink, go freshen up in the bathroom and whatnot. So I will be back in a few minutes. So I'm gonna take time with this extra long break. So hang on tight, and we will be back soon. And we are now back. Okay, I realized that I had these lines, like, go out a bit too far for this. Like, it doesn't matter too much. Hold on, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no. Like, it doesn't matter too much for this, but, like, in my brain, it doesn't look right. So... There we go. Much better. Now it looks proper, and it doesn't irritate me as much. Now for this one, there's a lot of ones that are very clear. So you know, we can do a handful of the hands on here. I'll do this one first. I do like this pose in particular. Like, it's somewhat clear, though there is some like folding and bending of the fingers. So it's not, you know, full, like, it's not entirely like easy, if that makes sense. Right. So my hands are still kind of wet. So it's kind of distracting. Oh yeah, also, on another matter of, like, things progressively getting worse in terms of, like, my brain and, like, doing stuff and things. I've had the epiphany today that my ability to try and maintain focus on things has just... Like, I feel like it was okay-ish last year, but now, this year, it feels like it has waned even more. And that's not a good thing when I'm either trying to, like, do things with Stream Today or game dev streams, or I'm trying to generally do a thing in my day-to-day life, and then suddenly I'm just like, oh, wait, what was I doing again? And then trying to strongly think about, wait, what was I trying to do, or what was I trying to think about? And then just having a bit of a panic because I just can't remember what I was trying to do. And I, like a lack of, like, a struggle with focus. I know that, like, focus definitely plays, like, a bit of a part in information and memory retention and whatnot. And I feel like my issues with memory are definitely more so tied to being able to focus on things, if that makes sense. Rather than just, you know, an issue with my memory itself. Because when it comes down to it, I can, generally speaking, I can remember quite a few things. But for the most part, in terms of trying to focus on the act of trying to recall things, like when I'm asked to do a thing, and then they're like, yeah, sure, give me a moment. And then it's like, wait, what was I doing again? What did you ask me to do again? Like, it's those kind of problems. Like, when I just lose focus, and then after I lose focus, it's just... it's gone. It's completely gone from my mind, and it upsets me. And I know, like, with, like, my friends and everything, they're gonna say, wow, how have you gone this long without, you know, anything ever being, like, noticed or diagnosed? And I give people the same answer every single time. I have no idea. I could not explain to you how, because I don't know why nothing ever came up previously. It's just an enigma. It's a mystery. It's just truly difficult to explain how. So I just say, I don't know. But now it's like, man, I wish, like, wait lists weren't that long, because, you know, wait lists in the UK at the NHS suck. And surely a lot of people's lives would be revolutionized if you know, the waitlists weren't so terrible, and, you know, people were able to get to these, like, or fulfilling these, like, appointments and assessments a lot sooner rather than forcing, like, people to wait for 2 years. But yes, generally speaking, my focus is kind of stinky doo-doo. And I do at times, like, even when I'm just, like, sat in, like, my room or outside somewhere, at off times I will just zone out and just, like, kind of forget a thing that I'm doing, and then think, wait, what was I trying to do or think about again? It's that kind of thing that distresses me. Not, like, completely forgetting what I had to do for, like, a given day or a given moment in time, just... it's like, help. Help me. Help me, please. Gosh. See, there it was. I zoned out briefly for a moment, and then I had to quickly scramble to remember what it was I was trying to do, and it's trying to draw this last finger. Yeah, no, that's fine enough. I have missed doing one of these more so, like, laid back type streams. Not that I don't not that I don't enjoy what I do normally in terms of like the energy that I normally have for like playthrough streams or some break streams and what why did I move off there? Habit. But like sometimes you just gotta wind down, slow down, take your time. You know, not just do a thing where you're just absolutely rushing to do everything. Like sometimes you just really need to take your pace, and I feel like I need to try and do that a bit more often in my life, especially with streams. Because in my head, there's certainly a part of me that does try and, you know, force and rush things just for the sake of trying to, like, save on time, when really that's just not how it works. Gosh. Ouch. Gosh. Right. Right, what song is it on at the moment? Oh, the Cloud Keep from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Right. Right. Like, rock on, dude. Gosh. Alright. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. God. Oh, wait, I just realized I didn't make a new layer for this. Whoops. There we go. We've been gone for so long. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. 5, 6, 7. Make a new layer. Right. Do. Right. Right. So we do that. Also, going through like some of these like reference things to draw does kind of remind you of the fact that, oh hey, sometimes breaking things down into shapes is just, you know, probably the most useful thing you can do when you're trying to draw a thingamajiggy. I don't know why I'm describing things as a thingamajiggy. I guess that's just old habits dying hard. Oh, I should probably move this over. This look, I know it's like just sketching and stuff. I feel like I've pointed this out before. I know it's just like sketching and stuff, and it doesn't exactly have to be perfect. But then sometimes I just get it. Sometimes it bugs me when I can look at a thing and it's like, this doesn't seem like it should be that wide, or it doesn't feel like this thing should be that long. Um, hmm. Now, I think at the very least this is looking okay. Where is... Hey, there it is. Right. There we go. Much better. Right. Also, just to double check, it probably isn't, but I'm now kind of paranoid about this whole thing with Microsoft for some reason just randomly adjusting my input volume. No, it's fine. It's fine. Cool. Do, 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 do. And then we got the finger that kind of extends here. Right, that looks better. Much better. And then there's still like little points of detail. There's like of how like the fingers are being flexed and whatnot. So you have some of like the little ligaments that kind of poke out. You know, it just naturally happens. New layer once again. Right. So if I could break this down into shapes as well, just for the sake of it, like, of course, the wrist would just be a cylinder. No, like, that's literally the easiest way you can split that into a shape. And then for the hand itself, it's like... Like, at the very least, for, like, kind of the base of the thumb, it's like you have, like, a little triangular wedge sticking out. Hmm. Yeah, that looks fine enough, I think. I reckon that looks fine enough. Right. Because that would be like coming off of there, and if we're staying in line with this, that would go there. In terms of like how things like poke out when like the bones are being moved and things are being flexed and all that jazz. So we have like the little circle there. At the very least, we have like the like marking out like the little circular points where fingers would like appear from. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hmm. Ah, my nose. Right. I know what I'm gonna do at some point for another stream, now that I think about it. Because, like, yeah, I did the one, like, prep stream on Destiny 2, prepping for the, like, the release of the next expansion. But, I may do, like, another prep stream, even though, like, I did what I could in terms of, like, bounty prep and everything for the Warlock. I do want to try and get that done for, like, the Titan and also for the Hunter on my account as well. Because I haven't, like, played as those for God knows how long, and I feel like it would be a good idea to just kind of get them up to speed with things again, get gear that would be good for them, and then just kind of go from there. But, that's a whole matter in itself. I haven't even played like the Final Shape campaign on those characters. Um, and sure, as a matter of like trying to get like up to power, like relevant gear for them, it would simply be a matter of take the weapons or take weapons that are like max power at the moment from other characters, and then sort of like keep getting like armor pieces until like things are sorted for them. And I know like because of how things are being reworked and how power is getting like what is essentially a reset when the new expansion releases, then it's kind of pointless. But getting like all the bounties and stuff prepped for them at current power level will probably be quick and easy. But uh But yeah, no. Another Destiny 2 like bounty prep stream where I'm just like trying to get the other two characters like bounty prepped so I can maximize like my prep for the raid race, because that will most likely happen. As usual, as is tradition when the Destiny expansion releases, when possible, like I've tried to do the raid race for a good few of them now. Never to like any good results, but who knows? Maybe this time it will be very different. And I'm going to try and make sure things are a bit more thorough with preparation and all that. And also actually making sure that clan members actually are prepped for it, because last year, when the Final Shape released, not everyone who was trying to join the team for the day one were able to get ready in time. So of course I had to find the randoms, and if you were there for that stream, then you would know that that was kind of uh, so yeah, no, because of those circumstances, I kind of had to give up on trying to do that raid race. Though I'm kind of glad I did, because like, if I had somehow managed to make it to that fourth encounter for that raid on stream, you probably would have seen me completely lose my shit in real time, because that encounter, trying to learn it the first time around, was an absolute nightmare. So I should get rid of this bot. Hold on. Ah, there we go. I don't know why it does that sometimes. It's weird. Yeah, that's back to normal now. Right. I yearn for the day that one day will be big enough where we don't get these annoying ass bots anymore. Because they do kind of like, they're not like a big distraction, but it's still like, ugh, another one. Jeez. Like, yet again, another one appears, and it's just, I don't want them around anymore! So speaking of trying to get, grow the channel and whatnot, like, there are some clips, like, that exist, on the channel that I had been, like, debating, like, posting to TikTok and see, like, and seeing what happens with that, or maybe Reels as well, who knows? Because I have been trying to think of ways to try and, like, reach more people, because, you know, discoverability on Twitch itself sucks, so, or discoverability as a smaller channel on Twitch sucks, so, and then there are people who, you know, post to TikTok and Instagram and whatnot, and YouTube Shorts who do very well with their outreach, so it's definitely, like, this whole secret source thing that I'm just kind of ignoring at this point. Don't know why I ignore it, like, I persist in ignoring it, but, I do want to try and change that, but in my head, it's two things. One, it's reminding myself to do it, and two, it's, being scared of, like, the failure. But then if I try and fail, that's better than to have never tried at all. So, like, I don't know why I just don't go ahead and just throw one on there, though, to be fair, I have an account, I just haven't, you know, made a profile picture for it yet, and I don't want to just use, like, the one that I've been using for my channel for the past almost 5 goddamn years, which is kind of crazy. I've been using that for over 4 years, and, hmm... Do. Hmm. And I had been... I can't even draw a stick figure without it being weird, and here are drawing fists, which I'm sure there is a bad joke about. There are plenty. There are plenty, and I don't think I could get into, you know, absolutely all of them, Isaac. I can't get into all of them. So how did things go on Saturday without me? Because I couldn't show up and whatnot. But for this one, it's a very odd shape, because it's like... You do the thing, and you... Oh, yep, hold on. I don't want to stoop that low into bad fisting chokes. Yeah, fair enough. It went okay. At the very least, it went okay without me there. Though, to be fair, a lot of things go okay, even though I don't show up sometimes. And then there's just the imminence of leadership. Oh, ouch. Which is definitely something I'm gonna have. I only showed up because Chris needed the 6th. Yeah, no. Hold on, let me actually check. Okay, no, so, but yeah, next Sunday... or not next Sunday, this Sunday, because I realised, oh wait, it's not Sunday anymore. But this Sunday I'll be doing a meeting with the clan to talk about, like, the weapons and whatnot, you know, as you used to do. When I say the clan, I more so mean the day 1 people. I know Munter already added, like, a list of, like, the seasonal weapons and whatnot, and that's helpful. Though I want to go further into, like, dungeon weapons and everything. I think this one's fine. This one's fine. It's like a weird kind of like, you start off like this, but then you kind of have to like go out into a shape like that, or kind of like this, and then do things this way instead. Which, to be fair, breaking it down, it's not too bad. Yeah, that's just a very simple breakdown of this. Chris's mom would... No. But to be fair, like, breaking it down now, that's not too bad to try and pull off for a shape. For that particular pose for the hand. So now looking at things... I'll go further back. There's these ones as well, which... I guess drawing, like, the little, like, cup... Like, the cup holding, like, hand is also pretty helpful for, like, holding objects and whatnot. Do I have one where it's just, like, hands holding, like, swords and stuff? I don't think I... If you need me to sit in and give you ideas for weapons, let me know. Yeah, no, I will do. Like, I know I have, like, a handful there in my head, and of course I have the days to think about it, but if I need to, essentially do the bloody, like, phone call from fucking Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, then I'll just say, I'm just going to use my phone call, and I'll get you to tag in and help. Also, I wasn't expecting there to be a gun on this set of references. Like, that escalated very quickly. Let me phone a clan leader. I need my my temp advisor until I take over. So in terms of the shape for this one, it's like... Oh wait, actually, no. It's more so... Hold. Like, yeah, sure, it's still the same, but then you have, like, the kind of wedge sticking out here. Right, I'm jumping off. Thought I'd jump in, say hi. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for stopping by. And, see you around, yeah. Fun times. Fun times, fun times. Fun times indeed. So, got the wedge there. And then it kind of, like, sort of slowly goes out? Kind of, in a way? Maybe? My voice is kind of going like to a higher pitch, because I'm trying to think. Right. So now we've got the problem with this, like this little set of this set of references is that it's so blurry and pixelated. It's like, you couldn't have made this more pixelated. So I have to try and make guesstimates about some of the things on this, for this hand. Like, it's... ugh. So we go here. Is this looking okay? Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me think. Like, trying out the post-voice. I guess it's physically possible for the font to be like that, although I need to... Right. Another hand. Wait, hold on. Did I put it on the same layer again? Oh, I keep doing this. Right. Okay. Copy. Paste. Rename this layer to layer 11 so I don't, have layer 10 copy and then layer 11. Just so it makes sense in my funny little brain. Gosh. See. Right, so we've got. See, it wouldn't be so bad to try and like learn the poses from the sheet if it weren't for the fact that this is so goddamn blurry. Right, so I think for now, hands done. Or just hands on their own. I think next I want to do. I think this is arms. More than anything, this more so just feels like warming myself up with the basics again. It's just, it's always a good thing to try and like, especially when you've taken so long of a break, you just kind of try and reacclimate to things again. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, immediately fix things, which, it never does, then you just take time with it. Next layer. And I may as well focus on this one. Right. And it's like a fairly standard, because if I was to do, break it down into like cylinders, because normally with arms, like a good like shape to break them down into would be cylinders or whatnot. It'd be like, hey, you break it down into one cylinder here, and then you have another cylinder like that comes out like this, kind of. And then you just have like a little sphere joint like between the two. And that kind of works. That just kind of works. Look at me trying to act like I can remember a fair chunk about art, which I can to a degree, but not, you know, immensely. There is a lot that I have forgotten, and will take a while to sort of like relearn and gosh, understand again, if that makes sense. Ouch. Right. Remember to make a new layer, and then we do the next one. Oh yeah, also, Splitgate 2, like, properly, like, released, or at the very least released in beta, as an open beta now, and maybe, like, perhaps at some point I'll, like, give it a go. Who knows? Also, I reset my internet today, because it hasn't been done for a long time, and that might have somehow fixed my internet problems. I'm not 100% sure, but no frame drops whatsoever. Maybe the router just needed a bit of a reset, and that's kind of solved my problems. Who knows? Who knows? But then again, I could be 100% jinxing myself, and then it somehow shits itself and dies. Do 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 do. I do like the Fallen Arms like theme, either like during the day or during the night. I like both. God. Anyway, enough, like, kind of... Oh, also, ad break happens in, like, a minute and a half as well, just as a forewarning. So if I decide to actually break this down into, like, the simple shapes, rather than, you know, completely drawing the thing at first, it's like one cylinder, a circle sphere, and then the other one, which is kind of like this type thing, and then you have like the other one that's kind of like linking to the torso. Gosh, right. And then I can reduce this. There we go. Alright, ads are starting now, so we will be back in a few minutes, so hang on tight. Right, and we are back. Okay. So, moving on. Also, in a way, I do kind of miss, like, doing the more, like, chill, relaxed, like, art streams, because, in a way, I feel like it's a lot easier for me to try and find things to yap about, because I'm not using my brain too much doing art streams, and then, like, compare that to game dev streams, I'm trying to focus a lot more of my brain power into doing stuff and whatnot. So, as a result, it feels like I can't focus on yapping a bit too much unless, like, it's, like, in relation to a thing that I'm trying to code or trying to plan a concept for, and all that jazz, and... Right. Honestly? Hmm. Right. I gotta love when diabetes does its thing and my blood sugars get low, and then, you know, I gotta try and focus on bringing it up again, and then I get distracted because low bloods is like, oh, what if you weren't able to concentrate, and also at times you get irrationally angry? Also, I should take my important stuff, my important meds, so I can just not forget about them later down the line. Oh, gosh. Right. Right. I think this one's a bit odd because it's like the upper arm is there, the forearm is kind of there, and then there's the hand. Also, I gotta double check. Yeah, this is on a separate layer to everything else. Cool. Another layer. And I'm pretty sure the last time I did an art stream, I was like trying to get back into things again, and I just was practicing things and all that jazz. And it doesn't come as a surprise that I'm just practicing and trying to get back into things again. Because I just kind of stopped. Ba-dum bum 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 ba ba da ba. And since this is, I believe, yeah, this is the right arm, but you know, so I could kind of just do like the thumb like this. Like this. Even though it looks a bit odd and kind of like sausage fingers and whatnot. do, 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 do. It really kind of upsets me that now that I'm thinking about it, because, you know, this is Machna's, like, Machna Forest's song. It's kind of upsetting me that there's only really two, like, in terms of, like, actual main story stuff, in the Xenoblade franchise, there's only really 2/3 good Noppon in the series, being Ricky, Riku, and Manana from, like, Ricky from Xenoblade 1, and then Riku and Manana from Xenoblade 3. Because Tora is a pervert, and then Tatsu from X is, quite frankly, completely fucking useless. I really just dislike Tatsu. He's useless. He's unplayable, and he doesn't even do anything. Like, he doesn't really contribute to the story at all, or the quote-unquote, like, story beats at all, or anything or much outside of that, and constantly just serves as the butt of, like, Lin's, oh, I'm going to eat Tatsu's, jokes. Like, like, why? But yeah, gripes I have with, like, the Noppon characters in Xenoblade, because, like, we really, like, had the absolute pinnacle of the Noppon species in the Xenoblade series with Ricky in Xenoblade 1. You know, family man, crippling debt, but does, like, gives his all for his village, even though it just doesn't seem like he does too much, but he fucking shapes up. And he's just a lovable character. Like, it genuinely has some good heart-to-heart moments, especially with Dunban. But then we go to Tora, who, like, I haven't played too much as Xenoblade 2. This much is known. But Tora, from what I could remember, is just a pervert. And I believe his granddad is worse. And then Riku in Xenoblade 3 is an interesting case. I can't say too much about, like, him without spoilers and whatnot. And then Tatsu is just useless. Like, how did we go from the absolute pinnacle in 1 to just, like, the worst Noppon, one of the worst Noppon in 2, and then, or, even though X came out before 2, so, let me think. So, we went from the absolute peak of the Noppon species in 1, to the literal low of the low with Tatsu in 2. No, not in 2, in X. Or Cross, as people say. To kind of the midway, but also kind of in 2 with Tora. Like, how? How? It's like it evolved backwards and then went back up again with Riku in 3. That dubious little fucker. Riku is Riku, common variety Noppon. Also, it's kind of funny, now that I think about it, the Future Redeemed DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the only Nintendo game where you'll actually have a main character talking about how their balls are freezing off. No, I will not elaborate, I'm just going to leave you with that. I will just say that, you'll have a main character in the Future Redeemed DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 talking about how their balls are going to freeze off. And that's just great. That's just gold. Like, never in a million years would you think about, like, going into a Nintendo game and then just, like... I'd say unprompted, but it's like an actual scripted thing when you get to a specific area for the first time in that DLC when the main character's like, I'm freezing my balls off, can't get a good foothold, this seriously sucks. Matthew Xenoblade, my beloved. Feeling full of beans. I think that makes sense, kind of. Even though it looks a little bit haphazard. so move on to the next one. Yeah, these ones are okay. My brain. Oh gosh. Also, I still haven't checked for like any other like pencil brushes on the Clip Studio asset store. Some brushes. APU. Line drawing pen, pencil. What is this? I mean, I could always ask, like, friends and whatnot, like, who use Clip Studio, like, nice pencil brushes. Um... I do find it annoying how... Oh, there we go. Ah, Satomash, I love you. So if I go into its downloaded materials, it's HP Mechanical Pencil, which really didn't work wonders. Show all the materials in the folder. Yep, there we go. That's just me using the mouse. What about me using, you know, actually using the pen? Maybe. Hold on, let me put up the brush to a higher... I guess I kind of like how this brush looks, maybe. This pencil, like, brush looks, maybe. I'll go for this one to finish this one off for the time being, and then I'll switch and see how subsequent ones look, maybe? You know, give that a go for a little while. Do do do. Oh gosh. I need to just kind of like sit down at some point and just do what I did last year where I just completely vibed to this song, just like I need to break out like the beanbag that's like stashed away in the corner of the living room and just sort of like be completely engulfed by how comfortable it is. Let's see. Right. So, and then we do the thingamajig. I don't know, like, I guess it's just like trying to see if I can, you know, pin down how it's gonna go based on like my memory and whatnot. Gosh. That one's fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. Right. Shove this over here. And now I'm going to switch brushes and give this one that I found a go. See how it looks overall? That's too little. Okay. Just to make sure, yep, I need to make a layer now. Oh, that's my leg. Ow. Mm. Right. Shift that down, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to... I mean, to be fair, it's on a different layer, but... This is what happens when you start, like, cramming more and more, like, reference drawings into one, like, canvas. It starts cramming things. I think I'm, like... I kind of like how this pencil looks. Do... Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. It definitely can come out sharper in places. Though I will keep an eye out for other, like, little pencil brushes. Ah. Hmm. We'll go to Alfeto Valley. Right. Do, do, do. So we've got... Uh... Do 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 do. Do do do. Do 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 do. I'm kind of digging how, like, the pencil looks. Look at us look at us slowly chugging along. I've got another one here, which is like a bit different in terms of how these are structured. Oh, I forgot to split. Ah! Layer 20. There we go. And now not forgetting to make a layer 21. I do want to be able to get back into, like, doing, like, proper little drawing bits again, especially, like, actually drawing the other, like, states for my PNG. But baby steps, baby steps. I'm not just going to throw myself completely back into just, you know, doing, like, very detailed things. I'm just going to try and take it at a pace which feels manageable for my brain. I guess that kind of works. That one does kind of work like that. Gosh. There we go. All nice and hydrated. Even though, like, it wasn't, like, redeemed on, like, channel points or anything, and I know I didn't have to, but I just did it anyway. Because, you know, it's getting warmer. Like, even though, like, it's been kind of muggy today, it's still, like, warmish in my room. And because of that, it's very easy to get thirsty. So, you know, never a good thing, never a good thing. Especially on certain medications where you're more prone to just dehydration because of the side effects. Because that can and that will happen. Oh, right. Also, there is a thing I'm curious about. Not necessarily like a stream thing or an art thing, but there's something that just popped into my head. Um, Darn. Right. I was just checking, like, amiibo stuff, because a thing about one of the amiibos that I just remembered, like, kind of popped into my head. I was checking Entertainment Exchange to see if they had it, and it's like, they do have it, and it's not too bad, price-wise. Right, okay, cool. I didn't do it again. I didn't do it again. Ow. Gosh. Oop. Ouch. Oh no, not pins and needles. The worst feeling. Or one of the worst feelings, at least. That one looks fine. Bit rough around the edges, but it looks fine. Again, it's not about being perfect. It's about like getting like different angles and trying to. Okay, this one's a bit of an interesting one. I'll do this. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Not bad if I do say so myself. Just do that, and then do this. Now I'm trying to think, because there's a part of my brain that's like, yeah, we're doing okay with like moving through things slowly like getting used to like the different like areas of the body, doing them separately, and then eventually bringing them all together. And then there's the other part of me that's trying to rush things and is trying to be like, hey, let's just try and get back to what we were trying to do before. But I want to try and at the very least be a bit more sensible about things rather than just I don't understand. Like, here's me just hmm. Hmm. Oh yeah, and I was at some point way back when I was trying to practice like perspective and stuff as well. Like if I look at this, if I open like in Paint, like I was trying to learn like different forms of perspective, like 1 point perspective, 2 point perspective, like 3 point. I was trying to learn all of these so I could try and add, more depth to my art. And I dabbled in little bits of it, but then I just kind of stopped, along with everything else. And it would definitely help a lot if I, properly tried to focus on like the different like perspectives when it actually comes to getting back into properly drawing, if that makes sense. Though I feel like, well, it's not too difficult to understand, like, like the perspective is all to do with like vanishing points and so on and so forth. Mastering them would take so long because of, how elaborate it can be at times. Hmm. Yeah, no. Like relearning perspective is another thing that I will probably try and do eventually, later down the line. At a point when I feel a bit more confident with art again. So let's see. Ooh, could do this one. So that's kind of along the same lines of like reaching, but it's more like whereas that's more, I suppose, like side view kind of esque. Um, kind of, I suppose. Like this one's a bit more front facing, which I guess is helpful. Okay. Oop. Ouch. Right. New layer. Do this one. It looks like it looks like I'm going to reach out through the screen and take your money. Not that I actually would. That is wrong, but it's a bit of a funny thought. Also, ad break starts again in a few minutes. Man, that hour's gone by very quickly. Lord. Like, it's just, you know, slipping by. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Oh gosh, sorry about that. This thing. This do-hickamajig thing. And then I'll bring that in a little bit, because that doesn't look right! There we go. This one doesn't look so great this time around. Sad. But we'll throw that onto the pile of the poses that I've practiced and think on what I can do to do better with something like that in the future. The ads are about to start. So I'm going to take the break and we will be back in a few moments. So hang on tight and we'll be back soon, chat. And we are back. Okay, we just carry on like not, or carry on like we have been so far. We've got more detailed arms on this reference sheet compared to the other ones. At the very least, my whistling does come through on occasion, but you know, not all the time. It feels like I have to be at a specific angle for it to come through. Okay, this isn't right. Where is recent? Because I need to get the color for the pencil again. There we go. Right. Ooh, right, there we go. Right, this needs to be a bit further out, I'd wager. Ouch. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Ah. I love Yesterdale's theme from Future Redeemed. I love it. Like both the daytime and nighttime. That it's just there's a certain like vibe that it gives me that I really, really, really appreciate. Right. I do like how I made this one look. Like, making some of the lines thick enough and sharp enough at the same time. It's good, it's cool, it's great. It feels like soon I won't have enough room for anything here anymore, and I'm going to have to make another canvas for it. This one's just the bloody... like, the one meme. This is just the one meme. I love it. I guess also giving the shading does kind of help in a way. Just to kind of define things. Even though I kind of skipped defining the shapes and just moved straight on to actually defining all the details. And then this one... this Malevolent Hollow in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Where was that again? Oh, I don't think I ever explored this area in Xenoblade 3. Hmm. Yeah, this pencil's growing on me, I feel. Like, the more I, like, tinker and mess around with it, then the more I'm just seeing, yeah, this looks pretty nice. Gosh. Um, I'd say a few more of the arms, and then I move on to legs, because that's also very key. Right. Um. Hmm. Zoned out for a moment there. And I think by the time I move on over to like a new, like onto legs, it'll be time for a new canvas anyway. So which one to do next? Oh, this one perhaps. It seems like a fairly decent one to practice. Oop, my attention wandered again. Right. So in terms of the basic shapes, we've got this. I guess in a way could be like our ball joint, and then we have the upper arm. Right. And now we do the detail, the muscles. The muscles are getting bigger. I feel like I accidentally did it at a bit of a stretched out angle compared to what it was supposed to be. That was a bit weird. Uh Yep, there it is. I'm trying to test out this one here, like how this arm. And I guess it is physically possible. It is a realistic pose. It can be done, but it does feel a bit awkward. Hmm. Yeah, I'll go for this one. I'll go for this one. Do, do, do. Hmm. Actually, I'll do one more, and then I'll probably call things there for today. Yeah, I'll do one more of these, and then I'll call things there. The one thing that I definitely need to do, I need to catch up with, like, uploading VODs to the VOD archive, because, like, I'm... Like, I'm fairly close to having caught up with them, but at the same time, just... Right. Which one? I'll try this one. This one's a bit different, definitely. Did I forgot to make a new... Oh, these are all on the same layer. Why? How did I... How did I manage that? How did I manage that for all three? Do, 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 do. To be fair, I kind of got a bit carried away, so maybe that's the reason why. Who knows? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. And that one is done. Hello? There we go. There we go. Right. I believe with that, I will call things there for today. Thank God I had absolutely zero connection problems today. Turns out all I really needed to do was to turn the internet off and back on, and then, you know, it's fixed. Anyway, to people who showed up and to everyone watching things back on the VOD, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube, depending on when you're watching this, thank you ever so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Next stream will be on Wednesday. However, as I've already said on the Discord, you will know this, but if you aren't in the Discord, then I'll say this now. Wednesday will be a much shorter stream than usual because I need to be up very early on this Thursday, because I'll be away for a few days from Thursday to Saturday. So there won't be a stream on Friday, but there will be, you know, the one on Wednesday, just shorter than usual. But yes, again, thank you so much for being here, and as always,